it's great to see you. Everybody's filing in, hitting the like button. I know that we're doing this first time ever, our psychic exploration series. This is a new feature that I'm going to do on the channel. So what this is we are going to talk about a crime or historical event. I'm going to give you some what's called front loading and remote viewing. I give you some information about it. And then in a private event off YouTube, we are going to explore the crime scene together. I tell you guys all the time that anybody can be psychic with practice and patience and a little bit of know-how, and I want you guys to really experience it now. So Gregopedia, it's okay. Just don't forget my ginger ale. All right. Thank you, honey bunny. And be careful. It's wicked wet and windy out there. So we're going to talk about the Martha Moxley case. We're going to talk about the front loading that I'm going to give you guys before the event. Hi, Candor the Enigma. Guys, if you can, give my friend Candor the Enigma a sub. You can just click right on his name and jump right over there and give him a sub. He does Real Housewives content, gossip, fun stuff, food contests, all kinds of good stuff. We have a great time over there. So this, let me see. You can register for the StreamYard event. It's going to be in StreamYard. And I want you guys to know you don't have to have your camera on, but we are going to have a discussion after. So, it's a great way for you guys to meet each other. Anybody acts up or acts like an idiot, I'm going to kick you out. I have no problem doing that. Thank you, Kathy, for dropping Candor's link. I've got too many screens open, and I've got all kinds of PowerPoints and slide decks and information for you. I want to fill your cup today so that we could do this together. So before we do that, we have breaking news. What is our breaking news? Our breaking news is that Prince Andrew is now the prince known as, let me hold up a card. He is now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He is no longer a prince amid the drama that has ensued with his association with Jeffrey Epstein. I will read the statement again. His Majesty has today initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. His lease on Royal Lodge has to date provided him with legal protection to continue in residence. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternate private accommodations. These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. This is huge. This is huge. So let's take a look. Let's see. I've asked this question before, and trust me, guys, we've got plenty of time. The other event is not the private event is not starting until 5:30, which is an hour and 20 minutes from now. So we got plenty of time for this. Their Majesties wish to make clear their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. Are they referring? Let me make this nice. There we go. So you can see it. Hang on. Oh, you guys are going fast. You guys are going fast. I'm gonna have to slow down this chat. Let me slow down my chat. Let me slow down my chat in here. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a jerk by doing this, guys, but it just makes my life a little bit easier. I'm going to do 20 seconds between your messages. So it just gives me a chance to catch up and catch my breath. Andrew and Fergie secretly remarried. 5 of Cups. Page of Wands. I think they interact, if you know what I mean. I think they interact, but I don't think that they are formally married. Are they really just committed? 2 of Swords. I've got glasses issues, guys, so I'm going to actually switch them up. I think it's time to get the combo pack. The combo pack. See, now I can see the cards, but I can't see this. I can't see the screens. I could just squint, but then I'll need Botox. And if that's the case, then I need a lot of super chats because I really can't afford Botox. Anna Miller showed up. I can't afford the Botox, guys. I can't afford it. I just have filters on my computer. That's all I've got. That's all I can afford at this point. But I don't think that they have remarried. I do think that they are in cahoots, though, with the 3 of Wands. I think they're very committed to their daughters and to the enduring legacy of their daughters. Let's put it that way. I think that is really they're on firm ground together on that one. So let me see what we got. When are the Clintons going to be called out? 3 of Wands. We got a bit of ways to go for that, guys. I think they are still in talks about getting the Clintonian name out there. By the way, 3-Eye Atlas did not make the wicked turn at the sun, so scientists are saying not an alien mothership, just so you guys know. Also, this came in the mail today. I got the Brittany Oracle deck. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff with this for the Kevin Federline book as I continue with my Tarot Tells the Truth on that. If you're not following that series, go on over there. I'm blowing the doors off that Kevin Federline book, which I so gratefully got from 2 of my contacts from my former life in Los Angeles, so I didn't have to pay for it. Apparently, he's only sold like 2,000 copies, so tee-hee. All right, so let's scroll down. And I can't see anything. Okay. Is there a reason Gates backtracked on his climate stance? Let's see. And we're going to do this for another 15 minutes, guys, and then we're going to jump right into our Martha Moxley story and our front loading for our event. Temperance. Because people, and the 7 of Wands, interesting. People weren't buying what he was selling. The math is not mathing on this climate control thing. Be mindful. I do think that he's going to come back and start talking about how, sometimes the world in reverse, sometimes we course correct and everything gets better. So I think he's going to say that we've made great efforts. We've made great strides in these things. So, all right. Married in the Eyes of God. Margie, that's right. Anna Miller showed up. It's spelled Millah. Millah. I do need bifocals. I do. I actually need trifocals. But my eye doctor said, he doesn't really like the way the trifocals work and they really make your eyes much weaker. Will he be knocking on Hazza's door? Those of you that are uninformed, Hazza, Harry. Will Andrew be knocking on Harry's door? Hey, yeah. Knight of Swords, they are talking. You keep on knocking, but you can't come in. You keep on knocking, but you can't come in. So they're talking, guys. And I do think misery loves company. And I think that they're going to be putting some nonsense together. This 2 of Swords is 2 feeble minds trying to become one full mind. You guys love it when Anna Miller shows up. Gregopedia has an idea that all my shorts should be in Anna Miller style. Get out of her way because she's going to tell you how you got to live your life. Don't be stupid. Oh my God. Candor, I have a feeling the daughters are going to be dragged. Are they? Are the princesses York going to be dragged? You know, if you just think like 100, 200 years ago, like this could have gotten a little dicey. Or I would say 150 years ago. So Beatrice, is she going to get dragged? No, Beatrice, for some reason, and I don't know why, but I do think that Beatrice lives a very balanced and I don't want to say proper existence, but I think her expectations are in alignment with her station. Now, she does have a great deal of titles. I believe she's the most titled out of like her section of the royal family tree. And I think that she really is humble and has taken great lessons from her grandmother. I loved her wedding dress. I loved that she did a rewear. And I love that she remade that dress and she just looked perfect. She really did. You know, sometimes redheads have a hard time with like pinks and blushes, and she just looked perfect in it. So how about Eugenie? Eugenie, Queen of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and the 10 of Cups. I think Eugenie has much more of her father's cut of the jib. Second time I said that today, right, Candor? I like the cut of his jib. But I think Eugenie is a bit more grifty. And I think she is going to present that way. Whereas I think Beatrice is going to present much sweeter, much sweeter. Merc, how you doing? How you doing, girl? Greg said, don't talk about the Clintons. I will talk about whoever. Anna Miller talks about whoever she wants. Don't tell me that Anna Miller can't show up. Anna Miller said it. Anna Miller didn't, but Anna Miller said it. Oh, Candor, thank you. And I've got my headband on because it is raining. Oh, you got the Trick or Treat Tarot. I love that deck. And every year I say I'm going to get it for myself, but I'm not. Yes, it was said that they were involved in Saudi banking. Hey, it's Courtney, y'all. How you doing over there, babe? How you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Listen, I'm going to drop the link again. We've got a private event, guys, free private event. It is a remote view through the Martha Moxley murder. Today is the 50th anniversary of that still unsolved murder. So, oh, Merc, hold your questions. I'm probably going to do a live tomorrow. We're just covering a little bit of the royals here before the event. So hang on to that question. I can answer it tomorrow. Yes, Beatrice, I do think has ties to her father's dealings there. Oh, Courtney, I bet you don't look awful in pink. These glasses are not doing it for me, guys. I'm going cross-eyed. I'm going to be cockeyed. Let me get the other ones back out. Greg just went to the eye doctor. Now I got to go back to the eye doctor. Can't see a thing. Can't see a thing. These are better. Oh, except they're smudgy. Why is it when I take my glasses off, like I pretty much shove my thumb right in the middle of them? You guys are great. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves while I clean up my glasses because I stuck my thumb in them. I am not delicate. I am not a delicate person. She did look lovely. Everybody loves that. We got our registration up again, guys. Just go there. Go hit the button. You can go hang out. Yeah, exactly. Did Trevor Colt just show up here? It'll be free. Yes, Gregopedia, you are getting on a plane. Yes, it's all part of my evil plan. No, I'm kidding. So, yeah, you know what is a good eyeglass cleaner? A drop of vodka. You put a drop of vodka on there, it takes all the stuff off. All right, guys. So we're coming up on 420. Those of you who celebrate 420 right now, get it up. Lighters up, kids. It's 420 on the East Coast. But any more questions about the royal family or anything like that before we dip into the Martha Moxley case? Because I want to make sure that I give you all the front loading, give you all the scoop on this before we go into the deep dive where you get to be a psychic detective. Oh, Margie, I did. I did. Squiddy, we found, you know who found the final piece of the Squiddy leg? It was Gigi, our little baby kitten. She found the last Gandalf, Galadriel, Gigi. She's got many names. Should have been named Candor. Should have named her Candor. But we did. She was rattling around on the floor with something, and she pulled it out from underneath, and I thought it was gone forever. I thought he was going to have one less leg, but they all grew back. So we're all set. We are all set. She's a good girl. She is a good girl. And those of you that don't know, we actually went over and saw Cutie Patootie. Cutie Patootie has been neutered, and her kittens are in rescue. They're at a foster for right now. And Cutie Patootie will be going up for adoption. My mom is going to be in the chat pretty soon. And I know Candor wants us to go over and adopt her. And my mom said, don't do it. You have too many cats. But, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Cutie Patootie is coming home or what. Oh, Christine. That's a wild idea. That's a wild idea. Yes, adopt her. It's her home. I was going to have to tell my mom, like, I only have one black cat. That's not true. We got a lot of cats here. I'm going to see another cat box, guys. And that we have one of those electric ones that spins. It's expensive. So does Elon Musk get his technology from the caves of Los Teos? What do we have? Four of Swords. No, I think they come from within. I think they come from Seven of Pentacles. They come from within. Yeah, he is just a smart dude. He's a smart dude. Dora. And I'm going to drop the link again. Dora, if you haven't seen it, we're doing a private remote view event on the Martha Moxley case. So I'd love to see you there, my fun buddy. You are my fun buddy. So hopefully we'll get you there. All right, guys, are we ready to drop into Martha Moxley? Let me get rid of this one screen. I'm going to get nice and big. We're going to get ready for Martha Moxley. I'm going to show off my Britney Spears Oracle again. Britney Spears Oracle. One of you told me to get this. I'm very excited. I'll do a flip through. It's a cool deck. It's a very cool deck. So capacity for the private event is 1,000. So don't be shy, guys. There's plenty of room. I can have 1,000 people in my event. Hopefully we are going to get some of you in there. I can actually look and take a look. Candor, I'm going to go through the whole case right now so you guys can find out. It's a Kennedy adjacent case. So I will let you know. And my Calendly has been acting up all day. They did an upgrade the other day. And there I see it is a super deluxe upgrade. All right, so I've got people registered, but it doesn't look like it's updating on my end. I don't know why. I don't know much, but it's not updating. Oof. All right. So kitty cats, tomcats, all the boys and girls. Are you ready? We are going to start our story. So buckle up and here we go. You guys know I love a PowerPoint and I love a spreadsheet. I love a spreadsheet. So Martha Moxley, 50 years later, what really happened? So this is a case this is a murder case. Gregopedia is going to come in here and he's going to say it's not a murder, it's a homicide, because murder implies intention, but her name is Martha Moxley. I got to go with the alliteration. I'm sticking with the alliteration, and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. So Martha Moxley was a 15-year-old girl who was murdered on the night before Halloween tonight. It was 1975. And the main suspect, who was indicted, convicted, and then the conviction was overturned, is a Kennedy cousin. This individual is named Michael Skakel. He was Ethel Skakel's nephew. So Ethel Skakel's Candor. No, it's not for members only. This is it'll send you a link. I'll drop the link for the event in here too. So you guys can scoot right over. So it'll be super, super easy. It's a free event. You guys can just come in and have a great time with us. Okay. So let me do something here. Let me do something. Hang on. Cats and kittens. Cats and kittens, just hold up. Hold up. I don't know if I'm going to cause like a conundrum here, but hang on one second. Stop camera. Mute myself. I'm going to mute myself. That link right there, and I can pin that to the top of the chat. That link will take you right into the event. So the pinned message will take you right into the event, guys. So there you go. So if you're not registered, you can just jump right into the event. Okay. So it's pinned up at the top. Samantha, I think I registered you, but I'll send you the link. I can send it over to you here. Oop, there, you're in. Zeph, I just sent it to you as well. And just a few more people. There we go. All right. Oh, I'm so glad that didn't show up on the screen. So everybody just jump in. You can jump in as soon as we're done with this, and we'll talk about it. So, okay. So Martha Moxley, 1975, the night before Halloween, she was out with her friends here in the United States. Kids go out, they toilet paper the trees, they soap up windows, they smash pumpkins, they just kind of, some places they call it Hell Night. In more urban communities, it gets a little bit wilder. In the suburban communities, kids just kind of run amok and get goofy. You'll see it at the beginning of the Halloween movie, the Michael Myers movies. You know, there's toilet paper hanging from the trees. It's, you know, it's goofy. It's supposed to be good, clean fun. Martha Moxley had stayed out late the week before and was actually on restriction. She was punished, and she begged her mother to go out. Her mother said yes. It was an incredibly cold evening. She wore an old puffer jacket that she had. The family had just moved to Bellhaven, the Bellhaven community inside New Haven, Connecticut. It was the wealthiest neighborhood in the wealthiest town in the United States at the time, and considered extremely safe. They hadn't had a murder since the early 20s, and that was a dispute over money. The police department was pretty much just like doing traffic stops. They were taking care of wealthier people. Greg will even tell you, in wealthier communities, the police department is not necessarily employed to prevent crime, but for their discretion in some of these smaller enclaves of the upper class. So the police department, individuals in the police department were often hired off duty to park cars, move cars, those kinds of things, valet at parties for some of the wealthy in this community. So getting into the meat of things, this is the Moxley household. This is an actual picture of the Moxley household. This home has been torn down. It is no longer in existence. When the thanks, Zeph. Oh boy, we'll cover that later, Zeph, for sure. Yikes! Make sure you WhatsApp me that. Unbelievable. So this was considered a fixer-upper when they moved into it. The Moxleys, John, David, and Dorothy Moxley, the parents of Martha and brother John, had heralded from the Midwest, so they had nice Midwestern values. He was a very successful financier, I want to call him. He worked for I can't remember who he worked for, but he was quite accomplished. They were a very wealthy family, not as wealthy as the Skakels, but certainly well-heeled and living in a Tony community. They did live in California for some time. Martha was, I believe, born in California, and really cut her teeth there. When they moved a year prior to Greenwich, Connecticut, they were both blonde and tan and beautiful. And no, Zeph, a different name. Is it Touche Roos? I think it's Touche Roos. I can't remember it. I apologize. I should have had that in my notes. But a lovely, lovely home, and by all accounts, a lovely family. They were a delightful family. She looked like a California girl, very, very pretty. And she really came into her flush in the year that she moved into Bellhaven. The Skakel boys from across the street did go to private school, and they did have some private tutors. We'll talk about them a little bit. And Martha had met both Tommy and Michael. Michael was the same age as Martha. Tommy was a year older, at the club that was for this exclusive neighborhood of Bellhaven. Correct, Margie. Her father did die. I think it was about 10 years after she died. And he died in his sleep. He had a heart attack. So tragedy did continue with the family. He was extremely stoic about her passing, and he didn't mention her after the funeral. He was incapable of doing so. Dorothy was a champion for her daughter and really fought for the investigation to continue. She worked with Dominic Dunn, who wrote Season in Purgatory, that is behind me, that he is the father of Dominique Dunn, the young woman who starred or had a supporting role in the Poltergeist movie, and she was killed by her boyfriend back in the 80s, who only served 2 years and now is walking amongst us with a change of name. Actually, people do know who he is, and he's regularly called out by people that support her. Fun fact that I did not know, Griffin Dunn, the guy who played Jack in American Werewolf in London, who's one of my favorite characters of all time, was Dominique Dunn's brother, and Dominic Dunn's son. Had no idea about that. Yes, 2 years and I think 3 months. That was it, and he was released. There was, and I don't know if he was convicted of homicide. I believe he was convicted of manslaughter. I think there was a weird charge on that. One of the most impactful points of the Dominique Dunn trial was that the prosecutor paused for 5 minutes, and that was the amount of time that her boyfriend had strangled her, and it was extremely impactful to the jury. Not impactful enough. There was some information about prior relationships where he had been abusive that was kept from the jury, which is really sad. But anyway, we digress. So Martha went out at a regular hour. I believe it was like 7 or 8 o'clock, after having a grilled cheese sandwich, and did not return. Her mother was concerned about her and troubled, but in waiting up for her, her son came home, the older brother John. He was sent back out to look for her. Came back and said, "Mom, it's mischief night. The kids are probably just getting rowdy. She'll be home. Don't worry about it." She was found the following day after an extensive search by the police. I should say a sort of extensive search by the police, because they did the assumption was that Martha was sleeping it off at someone's house. Dorothy Moxley had gone across the street to the Skakels house. Again, we're going to see the schematic. She was under the impression that, she was just sleeping it off. Everyone was telling her she was just sleeping it off someplace. But Dorothy insisted Martha was a good girl. She liked beer, and I think she'd smoked some cigarettes, but all in all, she was a pretty good kid. Great grades, honor student. She was an artist, accomplished. I believe she was an accomplished musician as well. So she was found the following day at about noon by a friend of hers that was cutting through the yard. So again, moved to Greenwich in 1974. August 16th, she was born. She was a Leo, bright, athletic, social, popular. She immediately upon arriving in town, not a lot of kids can do this. I went to 3 different high schools and I assimilated every single time. I made friends every single time. But some kids have a lot of trouble assimilating into established friend groups. Thanks, Kendar. No Marmite. She assimilated very, very strongly. One of her teachers said, when Martha comes in the room, it's like the sun came up, which is a lovely, lovely thing to say about anyone, that she was just really a delight to be around. So normal teenage girl, safe community, safe, stable family, no red flags here. So Mischief Night, October 30th, 1975, neighborhood kids gathered to play pranks and socialize. It's very fun. Martha spent the evening with her friends, which included the Skakels, who lived immediately across the street. The Skakels, again, a wild family. Rushton Skakel was widowed. His wife had died a number of years earlier, and she had passed away from cancer, leaving the multitude of children that he had to be policed by hired help, hired tutors, and one of the older sisters, Julie Skakel, who was about 18, certainly not equipped to manage this household of rambunctious boys. Tommy and Michael both had a running rivalry with each other. They would frequently get into fistfights, as would the other children, but Tommy and Michael had a distinct disdain for each other, a distinct competitive streak with each other, fist fighting, and often Rushton Skakel would have to break them up. Michael was much less controllable, and at times Rushton would have to sit on Michael to regain control of him. So she was last seen by Thomas Skakel after fooling around, making out, those kinds of things, nothing more serious than a little bit of petting and making out, walking home 9:30 toward her home. You'll see in the schematic the direct line that she was discovered the next morning under a pine tree near her house to the side and back of the yard. She was bludgeoned and stabbed with a golf club. Police discovered 2 attack sites and then a final dump site with a trail where she was dragged to that final resting place. So moving forward, the golf club was found to match a golf set that belonged to the late Anne Skakel, the mother of the Skakel boys and the late wife of Rushton Skakel. The golf club was found to match that. Interesting things about the golf club: it was shattered into several pieces from the ferocity of the attack, and the leatherette handle, where it would have been engraved with the name Anne Skakel, as were the other Tony Penna golf clubs. This is a pretty exclusive set. It was a pretty expensive set at the time, and it was the one of the golf clubs missing from that set. I believe it was the only golf club. That portion of the golf club was never regained, but we'll talk about that as well. There were no signs of forced entry, no robbery. Her body was pulled into some trees, underneath some trees, and her pants were pulled down, but there was no sign of sexual assault or any attack of that sort. Margie, I'm going to address this. It was not the police dogs. It was a neighborhood dog that had come up to the officer that was supposed to be guarding the location. And because of the lack of practice with murder scenes and preserving evidence, also, it was very windy that day. There were a lot of leaves blowing around. There was a neighborhood dog that came up, and that police officer, being both upset by the crime, the age, and the likability of the victim, was taking some comfort in this dog. I know Greg will tell funny stories about, sometimes he would have to go to calls. And if there wasn't anything for him to do in the moment, he would often befriend the dog in the house and just kind of hang out with the dog. So I have a feeling that this police officer had done the same thing. When the detectives arrived, they realized that the dog was licking up part of the blood trail. To be sure, the blood trail was significant. The second attack site had a circumference of about 3 feet of blood spillage. I am confident that it was awful. The one of the police officers said, "I did not know that she was blonde because there was so much blood." The Skakels, again, are nephews of Ethel Kennedy. Rushton Skakel is Ethel Kennedy's brother. And there was a rumor at the time that Ethel said, "This can't touch the Kennedys." That has been refuted, that she did not say that. A media frenzy did follow due to the Kennedy connection, but lots of doors were shut down. Rushton Skakel had allowed the police into the house and to have conversations with the kids and to take Tommy to the police department. He was examined by the police. He was questioned by the police, and I believe he was given a polygraph that day without legal counsel. A member of the legal team from the Skakel company had gone over and was remaining at the house with the rest of the children, which is a curious part of this case. Why was a minor sent to the police department for questioning in a murder of a girl that he was the last one to be engaged with, without any legal counsel from a well-heeled family? That is a big, big, big question that everyone has. There were some contradictory statements and unclear timelines that muddied the case. And also, once the initial clearance went, Rushton Skakel cut off all contact with them and ceased to really cooperate, because he said, "We're done here. You've already determined that Tommy didn't have anything to do with this." Now, Michael is a different story. We will talk a little bit about him as well. They both gave varying accounts of their whereabouts, and the details of who did who and who loved who and who wanted who are very curious. Martha's diary is still in evidence, and Dorothy Moxley fought very hard to get her daughter's diary back at one point. I just found out today that Maureen Callahan, when she did her research for the book Ask Not, which she dedicates a chapter to this particular incident, she was given access to the evidence, including the golf club, the remaining pieces of the golf club, or the recovered pieces of the golf club, and Martha's diary. It's still in the evidence. And I will tell you that today, Maureen Kennedy did advise that she was told by the archivist that she's probably the last person who's going to see those materials, because they are going to be sealed moving forward. They're not proceeding with this case. So witness accounts did vary as well. The young boy up in the corner in the black and white picture is Michael Skakel. Very cute, very young. This is a depiction of what he looked like at the time of the incident. So he's 14 or 15 in this picture. I think that that's very, very important. And you will see Tommy Skakel is also in the other photograph. He is third from the left. So there you go. And I believe that Michael is the one with the sling. So very wealthy family, very privileged, had a lot of interesting things going on. There is something called the Sutton Report, which was a report that Rushton Skakel ordered to establish a timeline. This was a private investigation into the incidents that night that he did without the prosecutors, without the police. And he did that in order to establish a timeline and presumably clear his kids from any culpability. The story that was initially told by Tommy, they were hanging out. They were in a car in the front yard listening to music, smoking cigarettes, that kind of stuff. He was flirting with Martha, put his hand on her legs. He was letting her drive the car just around the driveway, just good, clean, fun stuff. Initially, Michael had been in the car, was flirting with Martha and liked her. And hi, wifey. And Tommy came along and kind of stole his thunder and drew the attention of this girl away from him. At one point, the cousins, some other cousins came up and asked Michael if he would like to go to the cousin's house and watch the premiere of Monty Python's Flying Circus. And Michael either agreed or disagreed. There's discrepancy on this. They don't know if he actually went to the house. They have a couple of different opinions of this, whether he was actually at the house watching Monty Python. Nonetheless, he did come back to the house at some point, where he may or may not have encountered Tommy and Martha having a little makeout session. Tommy sent Martha home. Possibly there was a fight, and Michael grabbed a golf club and possibly followed her home and committed this heinous crime. But we're going to uncover that because you guys are psychic sleuths. So Michael also, Tommy claims that he went back into the house after Martha left to work on a project about Abraham Lincoln. He spent some time with Ken Littleton, who was a hired tutor. First night on the job, worst first night ever. Kathy, I'll see you later. Have a good night. So Ken Littleton was watching French Connection, specifically the car chase scene, one of the best car chase scenes ever. And then Tommy went to go work on a report about Abraham Lincoln. No such report was issued by his school or any of his tutors, so that is a questionable thing. Michael just claims that he went to bed. He was very disheveled. There was drinking. There was some interesting things going on. Certainly some partying. There was smoking of cannabis, all kinds of ingestion of substances. That was not norm. Ken Littleton, I do find a little bit responsible. He had the kids down at the club and was allowing them to drink rum and cokes underage. But, it was in the 70s, so as one does. So let's continue with my slideshow. Trial in the aftermath. The 1990s renewed the investigation with new witnesses. Michael, after the incident from 1978 to 1980, was admitted and discharged from a variety of homes and schools for troubled youths and rehab facilities. In one of these rehab facilities called Elon, he did admit in a group therapy session that he had done some bad things and had killed a girl. There was an individual who subsequently died of a drug overdose who corroborated this story, but was unable to corroborate that story in a deposition before he passed away. In 1998, Mark Furman of O.J. Simpson fame wrote the book Murder in Greenwich, Who Killed Martha Moxley, which sparked a re-examination of the case by prosecution, by police officers that had been on the job, detectives that had been on the job. He met varying resistance and cooperation in New Haven, Connecticut. There was a great deal of disdain for him due to his association with the O.J. Simpson case. Some people disliked him because he lost the case, and some people disliked him because of the language that had been proven that he had used. There was a lot of kerfuffle on it. In my opinion, it is an excellent piece of investigative police work. The way that he breaks it down, I am not a police officer, I'm not an investigator, and the way that he broke down the case and the hypothesis of the crime is truly, truly very compelling. So I do recommend, if you guys are interested in this case, get that book. I'm going to drop all of the links for all of the books and video footage. There's a movie that was made of Murder in Greenwich. You can watch that here on YouTube. Someone has it in clips. You can also buy the DVD. I couldn't find like a purchased streaming copy, but it's certainly an excellent read. It's a fast read. It's a little bit hard because it is an awful murder. But so in the results of that, in 2002, Michael Skakel was convicted of Martha Moxley's murder, but multiple appeals followed. He did spend about 10 years in jail when the conviction was overturned. The conviction was overturned because of inadequate counsel. And RFK Jr., the boy right here, RFK Jr., wrote Framed. He actually wrote 2 books on this particular case where he points a firm and strong finger at one, a transient that possibly rolled down from the highway and decided to come into this enclave, secluded neighborhood, or these 2 young men who he claims came up from the Bronx to go caveman on someone that night. So curious possible things that could have happened. They're, do your own research, do your own reading. I like what RFK Jr. is doing right now. Not so liking this book, but it is, more compelling information. I do want everyone to come to this with less bias than real bias. Okay, so part of the remote viewing process, if you're going to join us, I'm going to drop that link again, guys, for you guys to come on in to the private event. Again, you don't have to have your camera on. You can turn your camera off. But we do want to discuss it at the end of the event. So that link that I just dropped will take you right into the StreamYard host room, and we can get started at just about 5:30. We got just about a half hour for it. So when the conviction was overturned, Skakel was released. He's out among us. He did have, I will tell you this, the other Kennedy that I believe it was Michael Kennedy was embroiled in an affair with a babysitter and wound up crashing into a tree, skiing, playing football and skiing at the same time. Michael Skakel was involved in that case as well, butting his nose in and trying to be a support to that young gal when it was all in the news. So he seems to be involved. I also believe he was a confidant of RFK Jr.'s late wife, the one who took herself off the earth plane. So again, I want to stress the Skakels had more money than the Kennedys, but they were a bit more haphazard. They weren't as organized. So after 50 years, this case remains unsolved. We do have to consider this unsolved. So lingering questions. Why was the initial investigation so inconsistent? Key evidence that's missing or inconclusive is the leatherette handle of the golf club. Now, this is going to get a little graphic. The first 2 police officers that arrived on the scene after Martha's body was discovered by her friend noted that there was a piece of metal through and through her neck. And the detail of it was even that her hair was coming through on the exit side. The one police officer said in his initial report, the leatherette handle was there and it would have been identifiable with the engraving of Ann Skakel had it been recovered. At some point after the 2 initial police officers got there, that leatherette handle was removed and went missing and was gone. It is canon evidence that when the coroner arrived, when the doctor, it was actually her family doctor, that was not in her neck. So to be sure, she was bludgeoned with the golf club in location A. Location B, the individual possibly returned to her and used the shattered golf club handle to penetrate her neck. and it is likely there where she expired. But the wound was likely perimortem. She was probably already dying. After that, the individual dragged her to the third location where her body was found. At some point, they were dragging her by the feet, and her pants likely pulled down, and that may have been why they were pulled down even further, to suggest a different motive and crime. So was justice served, or has it been deferred? Will justice ever be found for this young lady? And what does this case say about privilege and accountability, and are things changed in our world now? I do think with cameras, ring cameras, those sorts of things, crimes like this are much more difficult to enact. I know we have cameras all over us. They go off all the time. Like when the cats were walking around, we'd have the cameras go off all night long. We see Basil, one of the ferals, going back and forth all night long. He's so cute. We got to get him another little feral house. Our neighbors have one. But so tonight, what we're going to do is we are going to step beyond the reports and the evidence. And we're going to explore the energetic imprints and the psychic impressions that you can get through remote viewing. Now, I want everyone to honor Martha's memory, her mother's memory, and her father's memory. This is a family who has endured incredible tragedy. Losing Martha, losing her father shortly after, likely of a broken heart. It really is. This was a family that was lovely and generous and sweet by all accounts. Even Maureen Callahan today on her presentation, she said that she sat with Dorothy Moxley for hours when she was working on her book, and that the woman was lovely and delightful, and it just made your heart hurt to hang out with her because she had endured so much. We can tear down the house, we can change the driveway, we can move the furniture, we can hide the evidence, but the energy of our psychic exploration doesn't disappear. We're all going to be able to look around and see what goes on there. Everything leaves echoes, and I hope that you guys are excited about this as I am. I don't teach remote viewing, but I can take you through a guided meditation where you're going to be able to see some of this. CCD, I hope you're coming. I hope you're coming to this because I think you're going to dig it. So, whoops, a duplicate there. So any questions before we start our investigation, before we get into things? Does anybody have any questions? I'll take a little human break before we get to the event at 5:30. But I want to know if anybody has any questions. I'm going to drop that link again. Dropping the link. And I'm going to take that down. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to make a little love. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Oh, look at that. Good stuff. Good stuff going on. Good stuff. So I'm going to do a community post. Oh, boy. Everybody's live right now. We got Twin Talk live. We got Trevor dropping shorts. Everybody's talking about this. Everybody's talking. Avid Gardner, according to Taz, Murky Meg. Everybody's jumping on the Andrew thing. Strangely enough, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this Martha Moxley thing is because no one was really talking about it. I was so glad that Maureen Callahan had something to say. I was, and I even put it in her comments like, oh, thank God somebody else is talking. Me and Anna Miller talking about this. Oh my God. So Gregopedia, hi. Gregopedia has entered the building. All right. So anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions about what we're going to be doing tonight in the private event that's not going to be on YouTube. Not going to be on YouTube. So here we go. Join us for the oh, you know what? I don't know if Maureen would like me. I don't know if she believes in psychics. I don't know. I would love to hang out with her though. I think she's really cool. I loved her book. I loved Ask Not, and I love the Nerve. Like, oh my God. Spoon feed me some the Nerve. I love it. I love the mini Nerve. The mini Nerve is such a great thing. So oh, thank you. Oh, I got a where's my where's oh, thank you. Oh, Halloween flowers. I got Halloween flowers. Thank you. I'm gonna have to bundle those up. Where's my where's Christine? Where's my photographer? I lost my
fiance?
I lost my fiance.
How did the dingo eat your baby?
So flower garden. Good question. The coroner's report did show that the first blow probably knocked her out. So she probably was knocked out, which is awful. Just awful. Did you hear Andrew got stripped of his Prince title?
Yes, I saw the beginning of your show.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Well, I heard the beginning of your show. Right.
So, all right, boys and girls. So I am gonna drop a community post on all my social medias. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna meet back here. We're gonna meet back here. Well, not here, not on YouTube. If you guys lose the link, you can go over and grab the link on my community page or on my Facebook page. You can go and grab it, but we're gonna have some fun in just about 30 minutes. So does anybody have any questions before I bug out? Let me know. Going once, going twice. Going once, going twice. Going once, going twice. Questions. Any questions about Billy Birdie? Here's the link. Oh, well, that's a big link. That's gonna come out like in 5 different tags.
Holy crap!
What?
It's a big link.
That's a big link.
It's a giant sausage.
It was a giant sausage.
Andor loves the giant sausage.
Well, he's got that big black clock. So there we go. I've got it up on my YouTube. I've got it up on my Facebook. I've got it on my group in Facebook. We're looking good, guys. So if y'all want to go over there, sipping on tomato soup. Ooh, that sounds so. I had some delicious tomato soup the other day. So again, guys, this is something I'm going to start doing, I think, once a month. I think we're going to do a Solarian. I know we read on it. I'll do more a little bit later. We have a private event, which everybody's invited to. It's a free private event. But once a month, I think we're going to do these psychic explorations. Martha Moxley is an unsolved murder mystery that I find very intriguing. I think it's a miscarriage of justice, unfortunately. But I want people to get a taste of how to remote view and what that feels like and what kind of sensations and information you can glean from a guided remote view. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, it's not going to be a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun. And
that's no way to.
It's not fun.
Sell it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be very
well,
interesting.
it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be thought provoking and interesting. But I don't want to call it fun because I feel that that's a bit disrespectful. But
Yes, when talking about homicide, you don't want to take the fun out of it.
yes, I don't want to do that. So, but I will be reading on the Royals later. I have a private reading after this, and then after our next event. And I really want to know what you guys think of this, how this goes. Like in the world of remote viewing, what I did with the PowerPoints is I gave you what's called front loading, which is some information so that you can kind of, oh, you know what I didn't do, guys? Hang on. Oh, you're going to get the map in the, sorry, Christine. You're going to get the map at the beginning of the remote view, that PowerPoint's for the beginning of the remote view. So the map is coming. I'm going to show you the map. We're going to look at some more pictures. We're going to look at some more things. Nothing too graphic, but we're gonna take a look at all the stuff, and then we're gonna jump into it. So everybody mosey on over there. I will open it up. Trish, new member, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Guys, remember, if you become a member of the channel, you get early access to all my videos, and you get a one time a month I do a drawing for a free reading with me. So you can get a free reading, you can do a remote view, you can do all kinds of stuff with me. So a lot of fun over here, a lot of fun. So welcome, Trish. Welcome to the cookie jar. It's good to have you in here. Watch out for the crumbs. Don't slip on the chocolate. So all right, kids, I'm gonna shut this down. We're gonna open up the webinar, and you guys can all mosey over there. I'm gonna drop the link one more time in its longest form. So let me just kind of cut this down a little bit. Guided remote view. And remember, if you were invited, I am not asking for any donations, but moving forward, I think this is going to be like a donation kind of thing, or it may be paid event. I don't know. We're going to have some fun with it. I think this is going to be a fun offering for you guys. So you can hit that link. You can go right on over into the webinar, and I'm going to get it started right now. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying it. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Bye for now.